Welcome to Watertown Middle School Digital Learning Library and Computer Science presentation. My name is Rashmi Pimprakar. I'm the Pre-K-12 District Coordinator for Digital Learning Library and Computer Science program at Watertown Public Schools. Today's agenda will cover the standards we use in designing our courses, points of entries, which is our course selection, what digital learning looks like at WMS, what is the library media program at WMS, and what are some of the computer science program options at WMS. In addition, we will also provide you with some resources and information about our programs. The digital learning program believes in personalizing learning, making it possible to address the diverse needs of all our students in pursuing individual paths towards becoming enthusiastic, empowered participants in a global society. With that in mind, the digital learning amplifies the impact of great teaching. The WPS uses the SAMR model in integrating technology across different curricula. So SAMR model refers to the substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition, and propagates the idea that tech allows for the usage of creation of new tasks and previously unconceivable tasks because of integration of digital learning. With that in mind, we propagate and promote active use computing, which in turn helps us address the digital use divide, which continues to exist between learners who are using technology in active, creative ways to support their learning and those who predominantly use technology for passive content consumption. We support the active use of computing and other technologies so that students can be engaged learners with the content that they are using. With that in mind, there are many points of entries at WMS. There is a digital citizenship curriculum through Common Sense Media that's offered during advisory period for all students. There are also multiple digital learning and transdisciplinary project-based learning opportunities being crafted wherein the makerspace specialist, the library media specialist, and the digital learning specialist at WMS collaborates with teachers to create meaningful, purposeful opportunities for students. We also have a makerspace specialist at WMS, Mr. Justin Smith, who also engages with different Project Lead the Way and other courses. We have the library media specialist, Ms. Leah Maroney Wagner at WMS, who not only teaches the library media course, but also engages in transdisciplinary project-based learning opportunities across curriculum with different teachers. In addition to that, we have a computer science elective course called Introduction to CS with Scratch, which is an elective course offered at WMS. Um, and we also try to integrate computational thinking into different courses across all the subject areas through various different opportunities. There's also STEM and coding camps for students during the vacation week where we are trying to engage families along with students so that it can be a more holistic experience for the families. And lastly, we also celebrate STEM Week, CSED Week, and Media Literacy Week throughout the year so that students can explore multiple opportunities while engaging the community and the industries which are very willing and able to support these kinds of efforts in the school. The standards that we utilize while designing our courses and the curriculum are AALS, which is the National Library Standards. We also look at the Massachusetts Digital Literacy and Computer Science Standards, ISTE, which is the International Society for Technology Education, which are the Educational Technology Standards, and the CSTA, which are Computer Science Teachers Association standards, which help in designing our digital literacy and computer science courses. Lastly, we also look at the P21 framework, which is for the 21st century learning, as we are designing these courses, so that universal design of learning is embedded within each and every lesson and activity and an intentional, purposeful way so that students are engaged with the content that they are working with and are provided with real world experiences. Lastly, as I mentioned, the math, science, English language, art standards are integrated as we work through our curriculum because that is the core of how transdisciplinary opportunities are designed for our students. Here are a few applications that students use while engaging in library or different classes or digital learning. These are some of the systems that we support district wide so that students can engage with different types of activities and real world learning challenges. We also have a spectrum of physical computing that we utilize that guides our flow of ideas and lesson planning as we look at the different kits that are available to us. And this provides a real world hands on experience for our students as they're interacting with different types of technologies or designing the transdisciplinary experiences. So, as we talk about transdisciplinary experiences, here are a few. As you can see, students are designing, for example, a ball bearing where you are looking at a three-dimensional model where you have to design the prototype and manage all of the, various properties of the shapes as well as the spheres. As you can see, we are also looking at the conic section, or if they've developed a model where how the different planes are intersecting, and you can create the circle, ellipse, parabola, hyperbola, or different types of transdisciplinary models such as iteration of a Pythagoras tree, which is down here. Um, can also look at Makey Makey water cycle, where you can see that students are using electrical connections to design a project, and then programming to sort of give an idea of how the water cycle works. And this also serves as an example that lower grades can use in explaining certain concepts. So there are multiple interdisciplinary projects, such as designing a microbit step counter, where they are utilizing prototypes that they use on a daily basis, but then designing those for themselves from scratch and then iterating on it so that they have a real world transdisciplinary experience. A disaster detector, which is a circuit playground, another physical computing model that we have used, is it comes from our STEM week curriculum, which is again very much integrated into our core curriculum ideas with science, math, English language arts, and you can see that they are expressing, creating, and being creative and constructive about the ideas that they are working with. They are also creating prototypes which may not be perfect at the get go, but then they iterate over it, and they are having a similar experience even at a Key 5 level. Um, a few interdisciplinary projects again talk about the epidemic simulation that kids are creating, or a life cycle of plan talking about global warming, or creating a presentation about inspirational women in Black history, are just a few examples of how things are getting developed, or student examples of what students are doing in these classes. um, the Library Media and Makerspace program at WMS instructs students and collaborates with teachers, administrators, and staff in order to provide a program and an environment that nurtures students' intellectual and social emotional growth, translates curriculum frameworks into authentic learning activities, identifying, acquiring, and organizing resources so that we can support all areas of curriculum. The library program also helps improve the teaching of effective literacy, information, and research skills to enable students acquire, judge, and use of information. And at the same time, students are able to create new knowledge. Finally, we also try to incorporate as many emerging technologies into the programs and the curriculum related activities, and with an intention of providing authentic, real world, transdisciplinary, project based learning experiences for our students. So you can go to the Watertown Middle School, and within student resources, you can find the library and the library catalog, and the link to the makerspace. So when you click on the library link, you will go to the WMS library. The librarian at middle school is Miss Leah Moroni Wagner, and you can contact her here. We have multiple resources which are posted out here. You have within books, you have the catalog, to your resources, book fair, you have a virtual library, there are multiple research guides, databases, and periodicals information. The library media specialist in K 12 offer instruction and resources in print, audiovisual, and online formats to provide a foundation for using libraries and information resources for lifelong learning. And the library program, in collaboration with classroom teachers, specialists, and staff, support academic and recreational reading, the development of research and presentation skills, integrating the use of technology and media art production. The WPS Library in the Makerspace also fosters the connection between the school and the community and the local and global institutions and resources for teaching and learning. There are multiple resources available on the Makerspace page, which relate to 3D printing, 2D printing, coding within the Scratch Studio. There are multiple projects that are ongoing within the video production or game design, things like that. You can always contact Mr. Justin Schmidt, who is the Makerspace specialist for the WMS Makerspace program. And you can also find a lot of information, tutorials right here on the Makerspace and the library pages. Going back to our library media program, we just want to also let you know that libraries have our WMS library gives access to many different multiple databases, research guides, and really maintains an impressive print and ebook collection. Why computer science? So, WPS, I'm going to show you a quick video of why we believe computer science is important.
I think 19th century was about the Industrial Revolution, about electricity, about disrupting the agricultural society and making it more advanced. The 20th century was about physics and engineering to do more things easier in our everyday life, from refrigerators to washing machines. How convenient. And the 21st century is definitely the digital age. It's the internet.
Even if you want to become a race car driver or play baseball or build a house, all of these things have been turned upside down by software.
The lettuce bot is a robot that can sense its environment. Every single hour, this lettuce bot is seeing 1.5 million plants, and it's taking individual action on those plants. We enable lettuce growers to have higher yields in their field by helping make it cheaper, by helping produce food in a more...
So we believe that computer science really is changing everything, and so our students need to be at the forefront of it in order to learn about computer science as a tool and can engage with it and create solutions, solve problems. For example, here is today's John Hopkins Coronavirus Research Center map, which is a great data visualization map that we use on a daily basis to track trends and visualize data and make meaning out of that data. This is created by the computer science department, and as a tool, computer science is serving a very global purpose. The Intro to Computer Science with Scratch is an elective that is offered at WMS for the computer science course selection. Scratch is a world renowned blocks programming language which lends itself to creativity, problem solving, and students are able to work within this environment and problem solve with many different constructs required for understanding of CS. We always refer to the CSTA standards, which are the national standards for computer science provided from Computer Science Teachers Association as our guidance for this course. We also look at the digital literacy and computer science standards in Massachusetts, which focus on computing and society, digital tools and collaboration, computing systems, and computational thinking. This is a good mix of digital literacy and computer science skills, which we are trying to integrate throughout our curriculum through computational thinking skills across different disciplines. The key computer science or computational thinking unifying ideas focus on analyzing of effects of developments in computing, what are the impacts and connections, sort of implementing creative solutions and creating artifacts with an understanding that there are different models that are created, and then there is a process that everyone goes through of building a prototype, and not necessarily always succeeding at the first go, but sort of iterative process where these models are worked on over a longer period of time, so that they can arrive at a more efficient model. We analyze the computational work of ours and as well as others, and more importantly, we communicate using computational vocabulary, thought processes, procedures, and keeping in mind that we are also troubleshooting as we are going through these different challenges and exercises. Collaboration is key, so collaborating with peers in different computational thinking activities while we are communicating effectively and problem solving is another unifying idea across our CT and computer science courses. We also want to make sure that we are always making computational thinking more interactive and accessible to our students. Hence, that effective way of doing that is through transdisciplinary curriculum integration and collaboration with our teachers and across different curriculums. And so you can see that during our STEM week, CS Ed week, and Media Literacy week, students engage in many different types of activities that engage with physical computing as well as Scratch programming or Legos, to sort of give them a meaningful experience and a purposeful experience with not just coding, but using computer science and coding as a tool to solve problems and to sort of express themselves creatively. So that's pretty much it. Again, my name is Rashmi. My email address is right here. And if you have any questions, I would love to chat with you. You can also reach out to the WMS library specialist, Leah Maroney Wagner, or Justin Smith, who is the Makerspace specialist, at any time. And their emails are also linked in this presentation. Thank you so much and have a great day.